there's been no growth in the film and television business like stunts. Now you have second unit and stunt coordinators directing movies, hugely successful. The things that the creativity and the ingenuity that the stunt community pulls off in both television and film is unprecedented. The growth, it's constantly one-upping itself, and it's unbelievably unrecognized by the entertainment system in a number of ways. But also just the way that the stunt, the way that like it works as a stunt guy. Talk about the hustle of being a stunt guy and like just like how fucking hard that is and like how that goes down. You basically just got to show up on sets, right? And just be like, yo.
You don't know any to get a job?
To get a job. I mean, like, just talk, because I think people think, you know, to be an actor or whatever it is, which is its own fucking struggle, whatever. But it's like, you know, you got to get an agent, you got to get a manager. But like, stunt guys, it's like, you know, you'll be on a set. I'm always hanging out with the stunt team. It's like every day you'll see guys go, they just walk. It's like walking into a gym, be like, hey, man, I'm looking for a fight. You know what I mean? Like, that's what being a stunt guy is like. Like, talk about that hustle. And then there's all these factions. There's like gangs. I mean, it's like, you know what I mean? There's teams, right? You know what I mean? It's like, well, you're down with us.
Each other for real.
Exactly. And they talk a lot more shit, right? Yeah, because a lot of them don't have the real. So yeah, talk a little bit about that a little bit.
Man, first of all, stunts changed my life. Stunts gave me a life, man. Like Tom Lowell in Chicago, the greatest stunt coordinator I know. He's just a man. Gave me a chance, but yeah. So like, how you get jobs in stunts is you got to do it's literally, the industry term is hustling, right? And it means something different for stunt people than it does for everybody else.
For sure.
So when you're hustling as a stunt performer, woman or man, right? You got to find out where they're shooting something. So let's say fucking Punisher is shooting, you know what I mean? Let's just say they were shooting out here in Santa Clarita, right? Okay. And I find out my buddy's working on it, and I text my buddy. I says, hey, let me get the address. You got the call sheet? So they'll do what they're not supposed to do, which is send me the call sheet.
Right.
Now I got the base camp, which is where all
and
the
you
actors
can't let
are.
anybody know that you got it from that person. Right.
No, that's fucking, that's sacred. You could never do that. You fucking excommunicated. But so you get, and they're not gonna ask you. Here's the thing. It's like an unspoken thing. Nobody asks you where you get the info. They just it's like you were meant to be there. It's crazy. Like so then the stunt person will then have to go to that location somehow,
get on set somehow
get on set.
Yeah.
I have done the craziest shit. I have climbed fences. I've scaled walls. I've broken and entered so many times. I've climbed under fences. The gnarliest one was out in the valley in like Agua Dulce or some shit. And I parked my car on like the freeway somewhere, and I hiked up to the location because they had a security guard sitting like at the entrance to this ranch, and I had my phone talking to nobody.
Right, pretending.
I'm walking from, I mean, if this guy had any, like, if he would have been like paying attention, he would have been like, why the fuck is this guy walking from the highway
from the 210?
I'm like, hey, how you doing, pal? And I give him a wave. Hey, how you doing, buddy? And keep walking. Now I walk like a mile up to where the working trucks are, which are the trucks that carry all the equipment. That's not base camp where all the actors are. So now I get to the working trucks. I'm stressed because I don't know where the fuck they're filming. I see little golf carts driving up to the location, and I'm like, fuck, how the fuck everybody's on golf carts? I'm on foot. I'm gonna look suspicious. And then I see a couple PAs. After like an hour of me hanging out by the portal potties, you know what I mean? Like in the portal potty, like pretending to go to the bathroom, I spy a couple PAs running up to set. So I go run up with them like I'm a PA, and I get up to set, and then the stunt coordinator, who I will not name, was cool as fuck. He sees, I have my headshot and resume tucked in my pants. Before, you know, now they do email, but at the time you have your real shit.
Yeah, have your shit on you,
I got this shit stuffed in my pants. I'm running up with him like a half mile, sweating in the desert, and we get up there, and they're doing like a shootout, right? So I'm like hanging back. They get the shootout. They call cut. I don't know what the stunt coordinator looks like, so I'm on IMDb, barely have a signal. See the fucking picture of the guy. Okay, I'm trying to find this motherfucker. I see him. I walk to him. I knock him on the shoulder. I go, hey sir, how you doing? I'm Sammy Horowitz. I'm a pro fighter trying to get a job. He looks at me like I was invited in this motherfucker, like I got driven up. Oh, hey, Sammy. Thanks
Welcome.
for stopping by, pal.
It's a job interview. Yeah.
Glad you could stop by, buddy. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Thank you for your interest.
Can I drop off my stuff, dude? Yeah, sure. Oh, I see you work for so-and-so. Oh, that's good. Oh, he's my pal. Yeah, he's a good guy. Okay, great. Hey, I'll try to give you a call. And then you pray that you'll get a job, which fortunately for me, that's what got me in out here in LA is I did this over and over again.
And sometimes you go and people are like, get the fuck out of here, right? Like sometimes you're met with hostility or like, because the community can also, I've seen the community be like, man, who is this clown kind of thing, just like anything else.
So thank God that has not happened to me.
Yeah, thank God.
It has not happened. Yeah, it has not happened to me.
Yeah.
Every coordinator, I'm not saying all the coordinators have been like buddy, hey buddy, but every coordinator, male or female, have usually met me with respect. And like it's always comical because they always act like you didn't just break 5 laws to get there. Excuse me, but yeah, they've all been cool with me. But I've heard horror stories though of like coordinators ripping up headshots in front of them. Get the fuck out of here, mother. You know what I mean?
I've seen that.
Yeah, thank God that didn't happen to me.
Yeah, for sure. And what do you think just the state, I mean, there's so much more I want to talk to you about, but what do you think just in the sort of like the state of stunts, you know, like one of the things that, you know, I go back to a lot, man, is Jon, you know, he passed on the set of The Walking Dead. I don't know if you know about that, dude.
I'm friends with with Jon Bernthal's
widow.
Very good friend. I know him, and I obviously didn't work on The Walking Dead, but I'm familiar with what happened, and I think every stunt person is familiar with what happened, and it was a fucking tragedy.
I mean, can you? I'm curious, just from being in the community. It's like I know the story both from the community and I know the story from, you know, the folks involved in The Walking Dead. For the sort of, and I'm just wondering. I'm really interested in the what was the story in your mind? Like, what have you heard that went down with Jon?
I mean, you know, obviously,
inarguably, he was ridiculously talented.
He was extremely talented. I don't know him, and I kind of feel uncomfortable speaking about it because I wasn't there. But at the end of the day, the coordinator is responsible for what happens on those things, and that coordinator, was responsible for what happened. And that was a tragedy, and it shouldn't have happened. And you know, every single person I've ever talked about, or I've ever talked to about him, Jon Bernthal, told me that he was incredibly gifted and talented.
I knew that. I mean, I can tell you that.
And so that shouldn't have happened. And it was so being somebody that I don't want to speak too much on something I don't know, but I will say that all I will say is that the coordinator is responsible when those type of things happen. And that's why coordinators are so important.
The reason I bring it up with you, Sammy, is because, you know, the story, I'll talk about it. I mean, the story that I heard, I mean, we know how he passed. He did a roof jump, right?
Yeah.
And
a high fall,
right? And a couple stories.
It's like 20 feet, something like
and,
that, 22 feet.
Something that, you know, for a trained stunt guy like Jon is not a huge huge stunt. So I've done that, you know, and there was some what we can't know whether there was some contact with the actor, but what we do know is that it was the end of the night, and a lot of times on these shows, the stunts to save money are moved to the very end of the night, even though it's by far and away the most dangerous thing that you're going to be doing all day, but it's sort of the last thing. And that's when I was sort of like the disrespect that goes to the stunt community. Yeah. It's sort of like, okay, you're this extra thing that goes in the end. Yeah. But I was on a show, Walking Dead and Punisher, it's enormously stunt heavy. I mean, you could argue that people watch The Punisher, not for me being fucking all angry and shit. They watch it for the fights and for the action.
Fuck
and
yeah,
so
Frank
it's
Castle
just as
being
much
a bad motherfucker.
That's it. And so if half the audience is, if at least half the audience is tuning in for that, you would think that they would be given the respect and the time, you know, to honor the previs, to honor both the safety and the creativity of the team that's making it. But that stunt was moved to deep into the end of the night. And the story that I've been told by multiple people is that, you know, anytime you do a high fall like that, you position stuntmen or stunt people
Safety.
on the corners of the bag. So if you're falling off, there's a big a pad, a big giant mat that you're falling into, and that you have
or airbag.
Yeah. But you have trained stunt people on all corners just in case there's a mistake. You can move it. And what I heard is that those people were on all four corners, and a producer had walked by and asked what they were doing there because they were moving it to the end of the night. So the producer said, we're not paying for these people to be sitting around here all night, and that they were released. Have you heard that?
No.
So that's the story that got back to me, that these people were told to go home.
Those motherfuckers should be never work again if that's true.
So
if that's true, those people should never work. That sounds like it could. That sounds like something.
It's the story I heard. And then Jon, on the night was up there with an actor that I know, and it was during rehearsal. It wasn't even the stunt. Again, that's what I heard. And there was some contact, and there was supposed to be no contact, and he tried to right the fall.
That's what I heard.
And he missed the bag by 2 feet. And since there was no safety, he died. And you're like, these things happen like way more than I think anybody has any idea. You know what I mean? People are getting, stunt folks are getting seriously injured. And
often, which is why stunt people get paid
extra for, exactly. And if there's an injury, you get paid extra. And then, there's a lot about sort of how it was dealt with afterwards, which was pretty disgusting too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and also, that coordinator's still working, still on that show. And I mean, I don't know if that show's still going, honestly, but
it's the last year,
yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's still there. I've never met the man, but it just money talk. Hollywood's fucking what to say. I mean, I make a living in it, but it's a fucking fucked up business where people try to cut corners a lot, and the one thing that corners should not be cut in is safety.
Happens
and having the right people for the job that can perform the job. And in Jon's case, he was the right person. But I'm talking about, in that case, having stunt safeties there when they should have been there. Not what else can I say on it? I mean, I've been blessed that I've worked around a lot of great people, and thankfully the shows that I've worked on, the movies I've worked on with some of the best coordinators and who have fought for their performers. No. That person needs to fucking be here. Fuck your overtime. They're gonna fucking work. Thankfully, I've been on those shows, but I've heard about the horror stories of the coordinators that get ran over and just like, okay, sure, yeah.